I'm here for a 30-minute class for some Yin Yoga, a little bit of sound I'll be infusing throughout the class. You will need a small blanket, towel, cushion, something that you can fold up. You could even use something bigger. I wanted to kind of make it more accessible just to use, whatever you have at home. So yoga blanket, pillow, anything that's going to offer some cushion for your bottom, and then we'll use it for a couple of twists and we'll use it behind our back as well. So make sure you have something handy. And I just want to emphasize this is for beginners. It's a Yin Yoga class. We'll be holding poses for 3 to 5 minutes, about 3, sometimes a little bit less, like for our toe and ankle stretch. So just be gentle with yourself. Let's move with ease. Let's kind of wake up our body slowly, move into it. It is a deep but gentle practice. So you may notice, because we are holding it for a long time, you feel the effects maybe afterwards. So just be mindful of that when moving into each pose. And I'll get started soon. Remember, we'll be sitting on a blanket. I'll start off with a little bit of breath work and body scan. So if you want to join me in a seated position, sitting on top of your blanket, feeling supported here, maybe find your seat bones, grab your hips, kind of feel like you're planted into the ground. Your knees are splayed out, maybe your palms come above knees, and if you have any issues with your back, you can sit up against the wall. That's really helpful. And maybe begin to close your eyes. Begin to notice your breath without judgment, without trying to change it. Inhaling through nose, maybe exhaling through nose or exhaling through your mouth. And it'll guide us through a body scan as we are connecting with our breath more and noticing where your breath is in your body. So maybe you're noticing your chest is moving slightly. And gently, we want to make our breath even deeper. Maybe you can bring your breath all the way down into your abdomen. Maybe you want to bring your hand down to your abdomen. Slowing your breath down, finding gentle inhales and exhales. And we'll begin our belly breathing here. And I'll guide you to kind of relax each parts of your body and noticing if anything may be carrying tension, beginning at your toes, releasing and relaxing them. Your knees, making sure they're just relaxed at your side. Your abdomen, soft, gently rising and falling. Your chest, maybe you move your shoulders a little bit away from your ears, relaxing them down. Your jaw, releasing your jaw here, making sure you're not holding any tension there. And your eyes, letting them relax. Maybe that looks like a smile with your eyes. And your forehead, making sure you're releasing there. So finding a release here, feeling what the least resistance is in your body. And we'll set an intention here. So I'll set my intention of bringing in more relaxation and patience into our days, to my day. You can select one intention for yourself, maybe what you want to get out of this mini class. Setting that now, and we'll take one big exhale. Big inhale in, audible release. Letting a sigh go. And if your eyes are closed, go ahead and blink them open slowly. And we'll be either, you can stay on your blanket or coming off of it, and you'll bring your feet out in front of you. If you have sensitive knees, you could always place some cushions under your knees. So coming into butterfly, you want your feet to be, so if your head were to fall all the way down, imagine that you'd be able to reach your feet with your head if you were to fall all the way down, making sure that your seated bones are firmly planted on the ground. Maybe take a breath here and then begin to fall over. So your chest falls, your head falls down, your arms can be relaxed, your feet are relaxed. And so we notice some opening in our outer hips here, maybe our inner thighs. And we let our head be heavy. So our head's dropping, we're sinking lower. Again, our seated bones are firmly into the ground. We're not lifting up. And we're letting go here. Your head, let it be heavy. And then connect with your belly breathing here. We'll be here for another minute and a half. So as you're here, let everything kind of release forward. Again, we don't want to go too far. We want to be comfortably uncomfortable is what I like to say. Continue breathing into belly. And if you notice some extra spots that are feeling this pose more than others, imagine your breath flowing there. So maybe it's that outer hip, your breath is flowing to those outer hips, and then exhale, let it go. And we'll be here for about 10 more breaths. Last breath here, go ahead and take a big inhale in and let it go. Coming up slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. Head will be the last to come up. Maybe take some shoulder rolls. If that feels nice, maybe bringing your ear to left shoulder, ear to right shoulder, kind of get some movement there, and then grab the outsides of your knees, hug them in together, maybe give a hug. And then I'm going to come sideways, but you can stay where you are just so I can show you. So we're going to take that cushion or blanket, roll it up. It's going to be in this shape somewhat, and this is called supported fish pose. This is going to be across our back, so about here. So my rib cages are about right here, so it's going to be, right behind my heart, right behind my shoulders. So I hope you all can see me. So we're going to come down onto the blanket, so it's right behind my shoulder blades. And arms are out wide, head can be on the ground. If it's uncomfortable, put something under your head, and then you're going to walk your feet away from each other, drop your knees towards each other, if that's comfortable. So your knees are kind of resting on each other. If you'd like to take it a little deeper, you can bring your feet into butterfly again. Or you can splay your feet out to the edges of your mat or just out to the side if you don't have a mat. And begin to breathe deeply here. You may notice that your shoulders want to broaden, they want to open up. Welcome that. Maybe be able to breathe into your heart space a little deeper. Maybe close your eyes. And begin to count your breath. Beginning at 10. Inhale, exhale, 9. Inhale, exhale, 8. Inhale, exhale, 7. Inhale, exhale, 6. And on your own, counting with your mind, once you reach 0, begin at the top, counting down from 10 each full cycle of breath. Continuing here for about another minute and a half. Counting down from 10 once you reach 0. And I'll play a little bit of sound for you. Continuing with your inhalations and exhalations. Here, take a big inhale in, the biggest breath that you've taken so far, and release out through mouth. Good, and so you'll come up slowly, maybe bringing hands by sides, picking your elbows up under you, grabbing the floor, coming up slowly with ease, and then maybe if you want to round your spine for a second. After the pose, we call it the crawl, so just kind of crawling out of it, and your body's kind of held in a pose. You want to kind of open up after. And so in the next pose, we'll take our rolled up blanket, we'll place it under our knees, finding a seat once more. Again, if you have any back issues, you can sit up against the wall. Just want to welcome that. So your feet are out in a passive, they're passive, they're out in front of you. So in a yang pose, this would be forward fold, and in a yin pose, it's caterpillar. So we'll begin to fold over, dropping our head, our hands out to the sides of our legs. Beginning your breath here. You may notice this area, target area, is right behind our knees. So maybe you can imagine your breath flowing there and out. Fully let go here. Your head's heavy here, upper body's folded over. We're targeting our hamstrings, encountering the openness that we've created through fish. And so stay here, and I'll begin to play some more sound. Be here for about 10 more breaths, so counting down from 10. Inhale, exhale. Counting on your own. And then on your last 3 exhales, I'll have you audible release out through your mouth. Inhale big, exhale, let it go. 2 more. And last one. Good. So hug your knees in. Again, maybe sway them side to side. Kind of take this moment for your body, what it may be calling for. And then we're going to come onto our hands and knees. So I hope you all can see me. I'm tucking my toes under and I'm sitting back on my heels. So maybe you're here if this is enough pressure. If you want to sit all the way back on your heels, again, we'll be here for 10 seconds. So be gentle with yourself, be easy. Beginning with 8. Inhale, exhale, 7, 6. Counting at your own pace. And coming out of it if your body is really asking for it. And last breath, big inhale in. And let it go. Shifting your weight forward. Go ahead and drum your feet. It's one of my favorite parts. Kind of hitting your feet, releasing it out like a dog shakes its head, kind of letting that energy out. And then tops of feet will stay on the mat so your feet are flat and you'll sit back on your heels once more for an ankle stretch. And then again, wherever you are, honor that in your body. We'll be here for 10 breaths as well. If you want to take maybe some side stretches, welcome that. Maybe you want to bring your arms behind you and stretch out your chest, your shoulders. Remembering your breath. And last breath here. Big inhale in. Let it go. And go ahead and drum your feet once more. Good. Take a couple of movements for yourself after that stretch. And next we'll be coming into child's pose. So our toes come towards each other, right? So some of us, our toes may not touch, and that's okay. Some of us, our toes do touch, and we're going to be sitting between our feet. Our knees are wide or as close together as you'd like, but typically about hip distance, but a bit more. Go ahead and place your blanket between your legs, and you're going to walk your upper body over the blanket. So you're releasing your chest down, hands walk out in front of you. Maybe your forehead meets the ground, maybe it doesn't. Again, we're sitting our hips back and reaching our arms forward. Your chest should feel supported here on the blanket. And begin your belly breathing here again, counting your cycles of breath down from 10. And once you get to 0, counting down again from 10. Staying here for about 10 more breaths. Breaths here. Make your last breath an audible release, audible sigh out your mouth. And then slowly, with ease, walking your body back up. Good, so you find that bright position, maybe rolling out your shoulders, maybe taking some arm stretches, whatever you'd like. And then we'll be coming into a twist. So keeping your blanket where it is, you'll bring your left hip up to the blanket, and your knees will be stacked on top of each other in some way. Feet are kind of stacked as well. Legs are completely passive. This is only for the top body. So my knees are this way, right? And so my body is perpendicularly falling forward and elevated onto the blanket, and maybe my forehead finds the ground. And so my top body releases here. And if you want to take it a little deeper, look over to the opposite side that your knees are falling. And so stay here. You may notice it's not so effective at first, and then as you kind of let your body drop into the mat, sink into the blanket, as you kind of let go, it feels deeper. So again, we find stillness, we hold for time to really get the effects of Yin Yoga. So we'll be here for a couple more minutes. I want you to begin your breathing cycles again, starting at 10 and all the way down to 0, and then repeating. I'm going to add a little bit of my favorite bowl. Deeply and let it go out through mouth. Good. And slowly come up as easily as you got into it. And then sitting back and just stretching your legs out before moving over to the opposite side. Again, so we'll bring our hip up to the blanket, our knees are together, stacked, and our body's perpendicular. It's making an L shape, and so we put that blanket for our top body, walking our upper body forward, dropping our body completely here. And arms can be whatever feels most comfortable, and then if your body's calling, maybe bring your gaze over to the opposite side. Called deer twist. So it's an upper body twist, and again, as you kind of release down, you'll notice the effects more. Begin your counting of breaths at 10. Again, all the way down to 0. Noticing if you're carrying any tension in your face, releasing that now. Maybe you're holding tension in your jaw or your forehead, let that go. Maybe holding any tension in your feet or in your legs. And allow them to be passive as we hold this twist. here for a minute or so. Few breaths here. And last big inhale. Let it go. Coming up slowly with ease. And this will be our last pose. You'll come onto your belly completely. And your elbows will be propped up onto your elbows. So my elbows are about shoulder distance apart, and I walk them about an inch past my shoulders, or an inch or two. So we kind of drop our bellies here. Our lower back is the target area. Our head can shoulders can kind of sink towards our head, and we can drop our head too if that feels nice. Again, the target area is our lower back, so if you're feeling a sensation there, it's perfect. Begin your belly breathing here again, counting down from 10. You may notice that as you sink deeper, you get to compress your lower back some more. And sometimes with this pose, the effects are more noticeable after. So be present with your body here and how it's feeling. Being present with your breath. If your head gets tired from being upright, you can drop it forward, or maybe put a pillow under your head to support it. And if for the last 10 breaths you want to take this deeper, you can walk your fingertips forward and push up, relieving your elbows off the ground, so it takes it a little bit deeper. Continuing your breath, you don't want to hold it here. And counting down from 8. And last breath here, big inhale. Let it go, dropping down to your elbows, bringing your palms together and resting your cheek down. Maybe rocking your hips side to side, kind of letting the effects of the pose sink in. And stay here. So after we do